I saw him eat it. The shadow. He bent down, grabbed it like it was something real, and swallowed it whole. I didn't know shadows could scream, but it did. It made a sound like wind through broken glass. I should start from the beginning. My name is Tond, and this happened when I was 12. My father was a hunter, and sometimes I went with him into the forest. We lived in a small village near the river, not far from the palace of Prince Adewale. Everyone feared the prince. He was cruel, unpredictable. People said his smile could curse you. One night, my father didn't come back from the hunt. By morning, I was told to go find him. I didn't want to, but nobody else would. My legs shook the whole way as I followed his usual trail into the forest. The forest was quiet, too quiet. No birds, no rustling leaves. Just silence. That's when I saw the prince. He stood in a clearing, his back to me, wearing his red agbada. The bright cloth looked out of place among the trees. He wasn't alone. My father was there too, or what was left of him. He was lying on the ground, his body limp like a sack of yam. His shadow, though, it was moving. Like it was alive. It writhed and stretched, trying to get away from the prince's hand, but the prince held it tight. Then he bent down and ate it. I must have made a noise because the prince's head snapped toward me. His eyes glowed faintly, not like a torch but like the eyes of a hunting cat. "Come out," he said, his voice sharp and flat. "Don't make me fetch you." I stepped into the clearing. I didn't want to, but my feet moved anyway. My whole body felt cold, like I'd stepped into a river at night. The prince smiled, and it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. His teeth were red, like he'd been chewing kola nut, but I knew it wasn't kola. "Curious boy," he said, looking me up and down. "Curiosity is dangerous, you know. It eats away at your soul." I tried to speak, to beg, but no sound came out. The prince walked closer, his agbada dragging in the dirt, and put a hand on my shoulder. His fingers felt wrong, like they were made of stone, not flesh. "You saw what happened," he said. "You understand, don't you? A prince needs his power. And power comes from shadows. Weak shadows, strong shadows, it doesn't matter. Yours, though," he leaned closer, sniffing like an animal. "Yours smells sweet." I thought I was going to die. I thought he was going to eat me too, but then something moved behind him. A shadow, big and dark, rose up from the ground. It wasn't my father's shadow, it was something else, something bigger. It wrapped around the prince and pulled him down into the dirt. His scream sounded just like the shadows had. I didn't wait to see what happened next. I ran. I ran so fast I don't remember how I got back to the village. When I told the elders, they shook their heads and told me never to speak of it again. But that night, there was a fire in the forest. The palace burned, and the prince was never seen again. People say the forest took him. That it doesn't let wicked men live. I don't know if that's true, but I haven't gone back to that part of the forest since. And sometimes, at night, I dream about shadows. I hear them scream.